Tonight I wanna see the bright lights over me. Show me something magical, something beautiful. Come and take me higher, set my world on fire tonight, tonight. Show me everything I want and more. You take me right around the world. I'm feeling tonight, got me feeling so right.
This week on Top Billing, rap artist NASTYC is a chart topper at 19 because he was dropping rhymes at the age of 9. Love the body you're in, says Brazilian plus-size supermodel Fluvia Lacerda. We're market shopping with Isidingo's Khanya Mkangisa for the best in SA-made bags, hats and genius accessories. Franschhoek hosts the wedding of Azola Zuma and Mncedisi Mayekiso, aka the Duke and Duchess. In the land of wine roots, South Africa gets its first coffee roots. Then it's diplomacy by music, dance and scrumptious national dishes as Sicily and South Africa do business the festive way. And your presenter tonight, Roxy Berger, brings you our lineup from this Dolphin Coast fantasy home, built by Dlamini as a surprise for his wife and child.
Good evening. Summer's in the air, so it's a very warm welcome to Top Billing. Now, paying your dues in the music industry is all well and good, but for some young talents, they just know what they know. They back themselves and go. Rapper NASTYC has been on a roll since the age of 9.
You know you're right, man. Never gonna quit. Hell nah, hell nah. Will I dumb it down a bit? Hell nah, hell nah. Am I running with the
On a day out, we learned how NASTYC worked on lyrics through school, where his music earned him the protection of the big guys. Respect from the industry soon followed, and last year he became the SA Hip Hop Awards youngest winner.
Did you always know that you wanted to be a rapper, or did you go through different musical phases?
I always knew I wanted to be a rapper, if anything concerning music. I honestly really started taking it serious when I was like 16. That's when I started getting paid for like anything, for like verses and gigs. So that's when I thought, okay, you know what, I could actually make a living out of this. I could feed my family out of this, and that's when I started taking it serious.
Durban's where you were raised, but what memories do you have from your childhood that's influenced you as a person as well as your music?
Like, if you're an artist, you kind of have to make it out on your own and by yourself, and you kind of have to do everything yourself. That's why I'm into production, editing, shooting, and recording. I do everything myself. And Durban kind of helps you to be independent in a way, if I could say, because there's not really much going on down there. They don't have an industry. It's not really easy to get exposure down there, so you have to work really hard.
Well, ain't that a bitch, I'm working on my day, I said catch me on my day,
Released for free download, the debut album Bad Hair quickly hit #1 on distribution site AudioMac.
I think this is a perfect setting to ask about your album. Quite majestic, and so is the album. I mean, like, it's really off the hook. I know it's been getting a lot of love. What inspired it?
My everyday life events, everything that I go through every single day, I try to treat it like a diary. So as I go, like if I experience something today, I might write about it later on tonight or tomorrow morning. I might just write a verse, and until I find the same type of inspiration to complete that song, and then it becomes a full song.
Nasty says the name Bad Hair is an in-joke with his family, and the album is a nod to them.
Some of the songs on there are quite poignant.
Recently, I was involved in a car accident, right? So straight after that, the first song I did was A Star Is Born, just to show my pops, appreciation and sort of say thank you for raising me. Then after the accident, everything just sort of kind of came into perspective, and I started appreciating life more. Every time I get to actually think about my father, I start appreciating everything that he's done for me.
The song 4 was an ode to his late mother, and that's not the only one.
Another song that really has a strong influence behind it is Forget. I never really got to get to know my mother. She passed away when I was very young. I was like 11 months. So all I can really say in the song is all the stuff that I wish to, have seen, that motherly love that I'd wish to, got to experience or whatever. I could actually tell that I'm coming from a deep place, and that maybe something had happened that just made me appreciate life a bit more and write those kind of songs. Because even the bangers, like some of the bangers that are on the album, people just think that we just go into the studio, we do whatever to get influenced, and then we just make that. But no, actually, it comes from a certain type of influence.
Born David Jr. Ngobo, Nas's distinctive verse recently came to the attention of US actor and musician Omari Hardwick, who invited him to guest feature on his new album.
You were talking about your family earlier. What has the support been like from them over the years?
It's been rough. I won't even lie to you. My pops wasn't really a fan of rap music. So, you know, obviously with me being obsessed with it, he had to understand, because I'm his son, so he had to understand. But it wasn't really with it and me taking it on as like a career path or whatever. So over the years, it kind of started working out. I started getting paid. I started bringing a little chump change home. And that's when he started understanding and he started being accepting of the whole thing. But now, man, he's super supportive.
And when the cameras and the lights are off, who's NASTYC really?
I'm probably the same person on and off camera, on and off stage. I'm the same person. Like the type of interaction that I have with the crowd on stage is the same type of interaction I have with them off stage. Like when they see me at the mall and they bump into me anyway, I'm still the same person.
You're only 19 years old, you've already achieved so much, but what's your ultimate goal?
If I could get to a place where I don't have to make music to earn a living, where I could just make music for the fun of making music, but at the same time, not ever have to worry about what my family has to get the money to buy certain stuff, to get a shelter, to eat. I think that's be my main goal.
If you're in Durban this New Year's Eve, then you can catch the grand finale featuring NASTYC at Kings Park Stadium. He's worth the ticket price alone.
If he's got attitude, he's got substance, drive, and lyrics to back it up. Respect.
Respect?
Coming up, Fluvia Lacerda never doubted that plus size was gorgeous, and Isidingo's Khanya Mkangisa just loves a good bargain.
With over 200,000 social media followers, Brazil's Fluvia Lacerda is a plus-size supermodel who's making women across the globe fall in love with their natural figures. Meeting her was a privilege, and whether in print or person, the lady is a knockout.
In 2015, Fluvia launched her own lingerie and swimwear label. She has a book deal, is the face of a European fashion house, and spokesperson for a top South African plus-size brand. Born in Rio, now living in New York, modeling in Cape Town is where you'll find her most summers.
Fluvia, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
I could actually say welcome back home, because you've been here often enough in South Africa.
It feels this way, it does feel. I feel that coming to South Africa, it feels so similar to Brazil.
Yes.
So I feel at home.
And do you think that also there's a similarity in the way that women look and celebrate their bodies here in South Africa?
Absolutely. I feel the similarities there, but we need a little bit more celebration.
Yes, I agree, because we need to celebrate all our feminine curves,
Absolutely.
which you do so well, particularly what you're wearing today. Tell me about your outfit.
I love bodycon dresses. I love showing my curves. I love a little touch of something flowy, feminine.
And the pleats are very in for summer, I know.
Yeah, and pastels. I love pastels.
Fluvia is a wine lover, which is why we met here at Cape Point Vineyards. Part of her body-positive message to fuller-figured women is to live your life, and encouraged by her parents, she's always done that.
Fluvia!
Hi!
I know models change quickly, but that is a new speed record.
Well, you said you had a surprise, so I figured, I should dress up for it.
I love it. This skirt, where did you actually get it from? Because it looks like it's got an African influence.
It does, doesn't it? It's one of the reasons why I love it. I found this at a vintage shop in Paris, and I love the fact that it does have the vintage look.
Now, I have to tell you that the surprise is something that I know you'll love. It's wine tasting.
Love it.
So the reserve that I'm showing to you today, I've seen it through since the start, right through to the end.
It's your baby.
It's my baby. I love the wine.
Oh,
we are also
awesome.
going to be tasting a 2016 Sauvignon Blanc, which we did this harvest. And I was also involved in the full process. So I really hope that you enjoy this wine.
Thanks so much.
Welcome.
Fluvia, you've been blessed with a long, very prosperous career in modeling, and it's already been going for over a decade.
Yeah, 14 years.
How did it all start for you?
Interesting story, I think. I was living in New York for a few years, and I was working as a nanny. and I got discovered on a bus in Manhattan. And magazine editor actually tapped me on the shoulder and asked me, "Mind telling me what size do you wear?" And I was like, "I beg your pardon?"
Which tips would you give women in terms of dressing their bodies beautifully?
The most important thing is always to be comfortable. So I think a lot of women are a bit paranoid about what size is in the tag of those jeans, and those are the things that only you see it. So I think it's more important for you to wear something that corresponds your measurements and respects your measurements so it looks good on you. Those are the fundamental things that it's my guideline.
You are a very positive, confident person. Where do you think that stems from?
I think it's a combo of things. I think it's my nature. I often say I was born with the wires back to front maybe, but I've always been that way. I've always been that kind of, child and teenager to question where those determinations come from, in a sense of who is dictating how you should look or live your life. And I have never been bound to those things whatsoever.
At the nearby Glass Art Studio, we discussed Fluvia's message to young women to see themselves as unique works of art. Once established, many agencies offered her work. Like artist MARAYA FORREST, they could see beauty in every shape.
Maria, I recognize this pattern. Where have I seen it before?
Yes, it's the flower of life, which is source in terms of form. So it has all of our divine patterning that we were originally created within it.
Artist Frida Kahlo inspires Fluvia, so this was a treat.
Do I have a chance for a second career here?
Maria demonstrated the art of making fused glass plates, and after time in the kiln, Joanne and Fluvia had their own custom-made pendants.
What are your hopes and your plans for yourself, for the future, and for your children?
Move to South Africa. I'll support that.
She'll have one of these gorgeous pieces as a constant reminder.
Fluvia, this is such a beautiful representation of the flower that you are as well. You're such an inspiration, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Next stop, New York, Paris, and Greece, making women everywhere feel great about the figures they're in.
Now onto a local style siren, actress and presenter Khanya Mkangisa. Her journey has led her from watching Isidingo from her home in the country to starring in the show. And as I found on a day out shopping with her, she's proudly South African, from her heels to her handbag.
Petty in the Eastern Cape is far from the Isidingo set, but as the only child of a single parent, Khanya had resolve. She and her mother moved to Joburg when she was 12. At 14, she made her TV debut as a presenter. With a degree in film and television, she starred in the series Intersections and The Lab. And since joining Isidingo 2 years ago, she's made the role of Aphiwe in Nzimande a big draw card.
What is it like being on such an iconic set like this and playing a part in Isidingo?
Oh my goodness, I grew up watching Isidingo, so when I came in just to audition, I was like, you have to nail it. And I imagined the Barkers. I was like, oh, I can't believe I'm going to get to work with them, and I have shot scenes with some of the greats like Georgie Zamdela. So yeah, it's just been such an amazing experience.
While her role was initially quite minor, she did so well that the producers brought her back.
Aphiwe is so much fun. She's much younger than me, so it actually reminds me of when I was 21. Wasn't that long ago, but yeah. She hardly goes through like really hectic storylines. It's just normal teenage stuff where you're trying to find yourself and finding love as well. So she's fine.
Khanya shares a fair amount of screen time with MAKGOTSOM, who plays Lorato's spirited younger sister. They're both professional and it shows.
Khotso, what's it been like for you working with Khanya?
Working with Khanya's been awesome, like from the first time we met, we just kicked it off, and we work like together quite often. So yeah, it's just easy to work with her. It's like acting is all about teamwork, and she's a great team player.
Khanya isn't only about acting. She has her eye on owning her own clothing or hair boutique.
All changed and ready to go?
Yes, to the market.
Nice. Now, Aphiwe the character versus Khanya the person, two different people and slightly different styles.
I'm very simple with my style, like as you can see. Aphiwe is much younger than Khanya is, so we do want to put her in bright colors, as you see here. But I do find a lot of the time that some outfits that Aphiwe wears, I would totally rock. Some outfits I'm so excited to wear, like these dungarees. And actually, it's not too far off from what I'm wearing.
I was just going to say, what is it about a market that you love so much?
I'm like a cheapskate. The fact that I can bargain with someone and be like, no, give me that scarf for half, you know? So I really enjoy that.
I say we go to the market and we go shopping.
Let's go look for bargains.
Traveling has opened Khanya's eyes even more. From Thailand to Zanzibar, she's seen many markets and does her best to buy local at venues like Beechwood Garden Market.
I do love me some retail therapy.
Listen,
not
girl,
gonna lie.
accessories.
This looks amazing. Hi. This looks phenomenal.
These are the most stunning new wraps. These are all made in South Africa.
Very cool.
Can I show you how to wear one?
Absolutely.
You can either wear it as a bracelet or as a choker. Slip your hand through there.
There we go.
Sure.
Pull it slightly like that.
That is so pretty.
And then you just
beautiful.
wrap it like
Gorgeous.
that. How gorgeous does that look?
Absolutely
so gorgeous
beautiful.
on your hand.
Who says less is more?
No, and you need to bling it up. It is absolutely gorgeous.
Exactly.
The latest looks from Blink & Co. Stunning.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you very much. Wow, I really like it.
It's beautiful. How would you describe your personal style?
So, you know what? I think I'm very simple. As you can see, I'm dressed today. Even when I actually have to dress up, I'll still look simple at the top and then just like pair it up with a nice heel.
So statement.
Statement, but I also like my accessories. I love my accessories, so I feel like they can just take an outfit from drab to
fab.
Absolutely.
Drab to fab.
Like, look at this. I absolutely love this. And because the print is so busy, the color's very bright, I'd probably just team it up with distressed jeans, nothing hectic or over the top.
So I guess it's about balance.
Absolutely.
Now this is where you'll find me, in the shoe section.
You love your shoes, eh?
I love shoes. These are beautiful.
All these shoes are locally made with love, and you can get a pair custom made for you in one of these fine materials.
Are you a shoe person?
I am. I have the smallest feet in the world, so it's such a struggle for me to find shoes.
She says she's here for you.
I think I'm about to get my first custom made pair of shoes.
And that's the way that retail is going. It's all about customization. It's all about customization, personalization. Nice, I think you're onto something good. What is summer without a hat?
Right.
Exactly.
So Jess, tell us about your hats.
So we've got these beautiful natural wide-brimmed hats, which are all customizable, as well as the white and the black hats. They all come with like totally different sayings for summer. And then I've also got these beautiful cowboy-shaped hats. I kind of call them the Ibiza hats because in Ibiza everyone's wearing these hats and they're all totally different and they're all once-offs.
Accessorizing is a hobby, so Khanya appreciated these Bloss & Co. bags.
That is a gorgeous statement bag. Wow.
So it's actually a bag that's made in South Africa.
Beautiful.
It's made by rural women in KwaZulu-Natal who weave the Alala palm. Then we thought we have to do a must-have trend, which is luminous colored pom-poms. So for us, it's the must-have beach bag of the season.
So what are the bag trends this season?
What you can look forward to is lots of African artists. So we've done a collaboration with a local artist called Kelly Higgs, and she has done this little monkey for us with a tulip. She's also done a leopard with a peony. We've just put some pom-poms on for that. And the other big thing is signature linings in your handbags. So you'll be able to recognize our bags wherever you go.
Another essential in your bag is a great makeup bag.
Definitely, I absolutely love this one, and what makes it even better is that it's locally designed. How fab.
Beautiful. Tell me what's next for Khanya.
Okay, so there are exciting storylines coming up on Isidingo, and you know what, as cheesy as this sounds, I just want to focus on being a better person, not just on my acting, just in general.
Nice, it's exciting. Best of luck. Let's take your Lerato bag and let's go and have ourselves a fabulous afternoon. To the producers of Isidingo, you clearly know talent when you see it, and you certainly have someone incredibly special there.
Up next, what a dress, suit, cake, and wedding. Plus, our homebrewed coffee scene is so good, they're even writing books about it.
We know that our viewers love weddings, so here comes a gem. Azola Zuma is one of South Africa's youngest CEOs. Mncedisi Mayekiso is a leading light in high tech. Together, they're affectionately known as the Duke and Duchess, and their wedding was a fittingly royal affair.
Franschhoek is the scene of the couple's happiest times, so this wine estate was a natural choice of venue. The bride and groom are both MBAs and entrepreneurs. They joke that one day they'll compete for the top job in the land. But at heart, they're just the best of pals.
It's a lot of things that make him the one for me. He's a completely refined man. He has a wonderful heart. I just think that I'm the luckiest person ever because he loves people. I love people as well. And he's just a kind, gentle spirit. And that appeals a lot to me. I think he does a lot in terms of grounding me and making me get some perspective on life. I think he knows what I think without me having said anything. He can read me, he can read my soul.
The masterful beadwork and clean lines of the dress are by Lebanese designer Mazen Taleb.
The dress, guys, is an absolute showstopper. Believe me when I say that. It is elegant, it is beautiful. So the theme of the wedding is the royal affair, first of all, and elegance, beauty, sophistication. And that dress encapsulates all of that.
A Best Dressed Man of the Year finalist, the groom wore a slim-fit Italian woven suit in his favorite color.
The Duke and the Duchess, I lived in London in 98 and 99 and just got fascinated by how the royal family would anoint people that have done great for Great Britain and gave them names. And I thought that if I needed to give a name that's special, was the Duchess, and that symbolizes, I think, her significance in my life. And since then, we kind of call each other Duke and Duchess, and hence the theme. And you'll see the blue is our royal color, and we've kind of done everything today, blue and some pinks, basically.
They've seen the best of each other running marathons together and couldn't wait to walk the aisle.
She's got such a big heart. She is my best friend, and her and I literally are each other's biggest fans. We love doing things together, and we love to push each other to different heights, both in terms of career and just personal, just being at best at what we do.
It's a fine example for Mncedisi's daughter and flower girl, Anati, as well as Lazola, his son and ring bearer.
He's my dad. He supports people, he loves, cares. And yeah, I just want to be there and help my dad throughout the wedding and do the best I can.
It's been over 4 years of dating, and we've all watched that relationship grow. They seem to get that balance right of doing well in their respective careers, taking on challenges that are often enormous challenges, but they embrace them with both hands. But at the same time, keeping a light-hearted view on life and enjoying life to its fullest.
I think they're going to do well, him and Azola, because they support each other, they love each other. I think most importantly, they're going to be successful because they are friends, and that is key in any relationship.
Travel is their favorite, and once they think of a place to go, they do it, and in style, as this 1957 classic showed. The decor reflected a couple who love guests to enjoy conversation over a dinner table, so arrangements were understated.
The elements and the ideas are all coming from the bride. She got inspiration from the royal colours scheme, deep blues, royal blues, purples, deep pinks, and that's what we've used here today. She wanted to create effects of opulence and abundance, and that you can see in all the crystal and the abundance of flowers that's been used here today. On the tables, we've used modern and fresh ideas, plain white tables with lots of crystal and glass, also a mirror effect, and we've hoisted the main table arrangement so that when the guests start socializing, there's no barrier in between them.
With clean lines for her dress, the bride reserved the frills for their cake.
We have done a 3-tier ruffle cake, but obviously we had to increase it to 6 tiers for this wedding to serve all the guests and to add a wow factor. The design was inspired originally by the soft ruffles of a wedding dress, so you can see it added soft romantic feel to this cake. And for the inside of the cake, the bride wanted royal colors, so we had a red velvet and blue velvet cake inside alternately, and then with a very rich cream cheese filling and a melt-in-your-mouth white chocolate mousse filling.
The 250 guests from finance, wine farming, music and fashion are all inspired by this dynamic couple.
I really thought the event was amazing, the ceremony even more so, because we got such a beautiful message that us as a couple to take home, even though we're not married, and for those who have been married for so many years, just to make sure that we don't take each other for granted. It really was lovely.
It's also surreal, you know, seeing two people that you've known for a long time finally get married, and you just realize how amazing this idea of love is, and Ne and Azola could not be a more perfect match for one another. It's awesome.
I think it is beautiful, incredible venue. Franco Kgosinkwe is fantastic. And I thought the decor was beautiful. It was classic. It was, you almost feel like you're in a fairy tale.
For the newlyweds, I wish that they be happy and they love each other. And I know that God is going to bless them. And I know that the husband is going to love his wife, and my daughter will love her husband.
It's officially the start of a new family unit too, and there's a lot of love to go around the Mayekiso household.
I have two brand spanking new babies. My son, Azola Mayekiso, and my brand new daughter, the princess, Anathi Mayekiso. They are absolutely wonderful kids. They are truly their father's children. So what's not to love? I'm just happy to have them in my life, and I'm gonna look after each and every single one of them.
We're looking forward to having some great experiences together. Sweetie, I look forward to having fun with you. And I love the fact that you are now my wife. It's very exciting.
The broader community is never forgotten in Azola and Mncedisi's dance of life. She helps rural communities bring land to commercial use. He drives entrepreneurship in Africa. And if they do ever compete for that top job, they'll make a fine first couple.
The couple's love for each other is rivaled only by their passion for this country. And our coffee shop scene is another reason to be proud. So much so that Nikki Elliott and Yvette Wilsenach established a coffee route, and they've written a book about it.
Most coffee table books sit looking pretty, never being read. The Coffee Route is the opposite, a guide richly photographed by Nikki and written by Yvette, detailing their experiences of the best brews and menus around Cape Town.
What are your coffee credentials?
Well, I grew up on a sugar farm in Natal, but on the sugar farm we had a few acres that were dedicated for coffee trees and bananas. So that's my credential, is I actually know coffee from seed.
For me, it's a treat. I don't drink coffee at home at all. And I go out, I want the pretty picture, I want the ambience, I want everything that comes with it, and I have sort of 2 cups a day, but it's my little outing for the day.
How does an establishment make it into this guide?
Well, because we were celebrating the independent and the quirky, the big thing was not to go for any chains, any shops in a mall, or a hotel coffee shop. They might be good, but our thing was to really go for those independent, quirky guys who are doing amazing things with their coffee.
So the other thing I think that's really important about the small roasteries and the individual guys is that it's personal, and you get to know each person's story. You feel like it's a bit of a family affair when you come in and order your coffee, and you get special attention and service.
Instead of rating establishments, the book focuses on their uniqueness, like immersing yourself in the Turkish coffee culture at Byblos Trading Company in Woodstock. It's owned by Lebanese-born award-winning barista Mikhail Bojali.
What brought you to South Africa?
It was a 1-month holiday in September 2006, and I was asked to stay here by the Department of Home Affairs, Education and Tourism and share my coffee knowledge with locals. And so far I have trained more than 1,300 baristas on the art of coffee making.
With maps to get you there, each stop on the route is like another part of the world. For a barista like Theo Makiva, learning this art form is a skill he can take anywhere.
From a professional's perspective, what makes for a good cup of coffee?
By trying to make a good cup of consistent coffee, you know, follow all the rules from the grinding, temping, the milk, the temperature and everything, try to balance the sweetness, the bitterness, everything, you know. And on top of that, love and passion.
Tion was about to demonstrate the oldest, still practiced method to prepare this age-old brew.
This is seriously old school.
The trick about it, you have to ground beans very fine. I used 3 or 4 spoons. Let me take 4.
So it's very strong?
Yes, it must be very strong. Let's set it on fire.
Light that fire.
Yes, okay, cool. And now I like to add a little bit of sugar, just a touch. Okay, and now we caramelize everything. Just a couple of seconds, 30 seconds that will be fine. Most of the time I'm using hot water, boiling water, just to speed up the process. Just because the beans are so oily and full of flavors, you know. And now that you're exposing the ground coffee in the heat, they will start making up a foam or a crema, and that crema will start rising up. So you have to take it out from the heat as soon as it starts rising. And now, as you can see, it settles down again.
Okay.
So you put it back. You do this 3 times.
Is that the traditional way, 3 times?
Yes, that's the traditional way. So what I always advise my customers is, if you're doing it for the first time, I always tell them to let it cycle for a couple of seconds, you know, just to let the brick to cool down, you know, the Turkish pot. Because I don't want them to experience, you know, the sediment, you know. It might be too strong for the first time, even though in Turkey they believe if you're putting a spoon in a cup, the spoon should stand like this. Wow. That's how they like it. There you go, guys. Enjoy it.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Nikki and Yvette's book began when a visiting English friend remarked on our rich coffee shop culture. And she's right. Great adventures in coffee await, not in Rome or Istanbul, but just around the corner. Just ahead, the best of the good life is an artistic, exotic 7-bedroom beach house your husband builds for you without you even knowing. Now that's what you call a real surprise.
Dlamini is a very busy property developer who's worked incredibly hard to achieve this kind of success. His wife and daughters mean the world to him, and to show it, he took them to a boutique hotel that he'd recently finished building and then sprang the most brilliant surprise. It was his family's brand new home.
The original home on this property was a dark, cramped warren of rooms in a Spanish style. That was until Michael caught sight of it. As CEO of a construction project management company who specialize in luxury developments, he had the vision to open it to these magnificent dolphin coast surrounds.
Mike, you're clearly a man with vision, but how were you able to realize this beautiful dream?
I started with a dream as a child. To do something extraordinary, something unique. Building a house over 5 years, I think, is the most extraordinary thing that I've even done myself. And I think that I'll never ever repeat such a thing. But I must say, it turned out to be one of the best properties, one of the best real estates in Durban and hopefully around South Africa. And we're loving it.
When you started building this home, you were a bachelor, but now you're a family man.
I think the best thing that ever happened to me, starting as a bachelor, gave me the opportunity to be able to think in my own space, in my own time. And yes, I always knew that one day I'm going to have a family, and I knew how many kids I'm going to have. And hence you got this big open spaces for us to enjoy, for us to spend more time in. And yes, I must say, the family in it makes it just more of a home rather than a house.
The pool house is an entertainer's dream. A lounge, dining area and bar with a game zone and gym downstairs. All set in this indigenous garden and designed by architects Prakasan Govender and Craig Atkins.
Gentlemen, congratulations on a fantastic feat. This home is absolutely exquisite. And from what I understand, this home actually developed from quite an evolutionary process.
Yeah, the original house was a Spanish-style house. It was built over 2 properties, and one of the biggest design generators was when we took the driveway that came wrapped around from the top of the road all the way to the bottom, and we re-sited that driveway, and it unlocked the potential of having this magnificent gazebo with swimming pool area that we've been able to create as a result of that design challenge that unlocked itself into a design solution that we find ourselves here.
It was quite a challenge because one of the reasons why Michael was building the house was as a surprise for his now wife, and we were not able to ask her vital questions to try and understand what her requirements would be for the house, and we had to therefore pull a lot of the answers of Michael and ask a lot of different kinds of questions than what we would usually do to a client to get the right answers.
Interior designer Grant Webster created a one-of-a-kind spiral stairwell. clad in varying stains of wood, with cork on surrounding walls to still the echo. It's a marvel.
This looks like a perfect home for entertaining.
Yeah, this is what this house is all about. It's an entertaining space. It doesn't have a lot of individual rooms in the public areas. Really one huge big volume space like this. Lounge entertainment on that side, dining room on this side, and a lot of little sort of casual grouping areas around the home.
Obviously you have the double volume ceiling and then this beautiful light feature that just kind of levels it out nicely.
Yeah, this thing was quite a concern because we've never used a light fitting this big before in a home like this. It's called amoeba because the way that it kind of clicks together and it grows. It's really different to everything else that's in this home, so it's part of the eclecticism of the whole project.
I'm kind of seeing a lot of artwork around as well. Is that the main man right there?
That is one of the most amazing pieces of art I've ever put into a home. But yes, art was very important in this project. We chose the art right at the end. We had a curator assist us in choosing the right pieces of art. It's not just flashy art or art that suits an interior. For me, the art is part of the home.
Michael and the interiors team mostly chose sculptures and paintings unique to South Africa and to specific artists.
Part of the beauty of this home is being able to take the inside, outside, almost exactly the size spaces, and we utilized it by creating an outdoors seating area. The side it's mirrored with 2 matching dining rooms.
Automated sliding doors provide an open connection between the outside and the masculine decor inside. And then there's the 8-seater Art Deco home cinema.
Grant, as an actor, this is always one of my favorite places in the home.
It's the quiet space in the house. The marble gives way to a really dark black customized carpet and really rich furnishings in here. You might notice on the walls, this is a sort of glass beaded wallpaper. These are the most comfortable home cinema seats. All of them are reclining.
The first floor of the house is focused around a pajama lounge that overlooks the main double volume living room. 3 of the home's 7 bedroom suites are on this level, and it's luxury all the way.
So this is the living room.
This is the living room.
There's a family upstairs lounge. This is where all of the bedrooms lead on to. On this side here is what I call my favorite room. We use this room if I ever get thrown out of my own home and I have to go and stay with a client for a while.
I can understand why this is one of your favorite rooms. I don't know if it's your favorite room because of the view or just because of the simplistic sort of design.
Yeah, it's a bit of both. You know, the view, it's the piece of the view. Also, the finishes in here, they're very honest, they're authentic. The colors are muted. There's no pure, strong color in here. Other than that, here's a beautiful, simple, basic, very low down chaise. Just relaxing, reading a book.
Let's see if this is as comfortable as you say it is. Oh yes, I could lie here the whole day. Think I can?
No, sorry.
Okay, fine. Fine. Be a sport.
Come, next room.
There we go.
This guest suite uses more exuberant colors, textures, and artwork, while Michael and Marsha's 3-year-old daughter has an impressive suite of her own. Anyone who wants to find Dad knows where to look.
We've made it to the top floor, and this looks like a room where all the important decisions get made.
Yep, this is Michael's seat of power. This is his study. This room can shut off completely from the rest of the house as well. There are these French shutters and we can close the whole thing off. And we wanted to make a very personal, very peaceful space.
And what a great face to be inspired by when you're making those kinds of decisions.
Yep, these Tay dolls of the great Nelson Mandela are quite unusual and just in keeping with where Michael needs to be. Now, this is the big main bedroom. Michael initially was going to stay downstairs, and when we got to the 3rd level and he managed to see the view, the decision was made to move up here. So a little bit more romantic in the room, a little bit less severe than downstairs. Very important, all the rooms have got an ensuite, and this one in particular has a very big ensuite.
It's clear from his bathroom that Michael has made his name with 5-star luxury hotels and conference centers. There's a sense of scale in every fixture, though it still feels personal.
Tell me about the textures and fabrics in this room.
What we tried to do here was make the view important. We didn't fill the room with a lot of stuff, and the bed is facing out towards the view, the sea, the canopy, the lighting subdued. It's a very peaceful space. And we added in this corner here for Mike just 2 chairs with a bit of contrast on it, leather on the outside, then studs, then getting softer, it goes into velvet, and then the last bit of feminine touch of pink silk cushion.
We can't be in this beautiful room without experiencing this beautiful view. I think it's time.
These Dolphin Coast views have been matched by Michael's epic architectural vision. The home is as arresting a view itself. That's why his ruse with wife Marsha was such a good one. With the grandeur of this 7-suite building, it was quite believable when Michael told her that this was a new hospitality venture.
Marsha, how was Michael able to keep this the best kept romantic secret from you?
Well, I was told that we were going to a boutique hotel opening. And mind you, we get here, you walk through the door, everyone's already here, there's a red carpet outside, and you're sort of like, okay. You walk in, all eyes on you, and they're like, oh, okay again. You walk in and your seat is right in the front. I was like, all right, please don't say it. No, don't. You know, and he said it, he said, this is our home, and I just could not react in any way or form. I just couldn't. I just started shaking.
Were there any telltale signs that Michael was keeping a secret from you?
I know him a lot for surprises. One being when we got engaged. You know, he hid a ring from me throughout our whole holiday. And it so happened that the same pants that I packed, the ring was inside there. So I do know him for surprises. However, not this type of surprise.
Michael, kudos to you. How were you able to keep the best kept romantic gesture a secret?
Just keeping it a surprise and a secret for me was probably the most hardest part of my life. And I think as much as people have fallen in love with our home, I think they've also more or less fallen in love with the story and the secrets. And I think I love to tell the story to my kids and everyone else, you know, that everything is possible.
Thank you so much for inviting me into your beautiful home and for spending the day with us. Here's to the evolution of your home, your marriage, and your family.
Thank you.
Cheers.
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 Unlike an engagement ring, some surprises are so big you have to hide them in plain sight.
Love is building a place like this for those that you cherish. But guys, a lovely bunch of flowers are always welcome too.
Still to come, Mafikizolo, Ambassador Tambo, and Chef Mokwadi Itsweng reinvent the art of diplomacy on the Italian island of Sicily.
Diplomacy is a careful dance, but when you choose to, you can make it a festival. When diplomats from Sicily and South Africa saw music, food and wine as a natural common ground and a great place to start doing business, it was a stroke of genius.
Just off the southern point of Italy, the island of Sicily is a place of breathtaking scenery, delicious cuisine and architecture dating back to the ancient Greeks.
When you're strolling down a via in the heart of Sicily, the last thing you expect to find is a South African food festival. But that's what happens when brilliant minds, great ideas, and exotic locations come together. This is foreign relations at its very best.
Dlamini is the hub of tourism here, and Ambassador Nomatembo Tambo knew this was where we had to be.
The last thing one would expect to find on top of a mountain in Sicily is a South African street food festival. How did this come about?
For me, Dlamini is probably one of the most beautiful parts of Sicily. And when I was speaking to my department, DIRCO, we were discussing what we could do to bring awareness. And it turns out that Sicily does not know South Africa and vice versa. So it made sense then to do something here to give them a sense of comfort so they get to know us a little bit, understand our culture. And so this is what we did. And the Sicilians have been absolutely unbelievable.
What is the most important element that you hope to achieve?
To sell South Africa is not hard. All we need to do is we need to find a way in which to get more foreign investment into the country and to constantly keep pushing our tourism and our culture because we're unique.
At the local legislature, Ambassador Tambo was on message.
Today we talk about how Italian companies can invest in South Africa and vice versa. So this can be maybe a start of a relationship between Italian company and South African company.
If you're bringing new flavors to this heart of Mediterranean cuisine, you bring your best. And that meant a chef who's represented us at the highest level.
Khanya, you've cooked for everyone from delegates in Davos to Oprah. What makes this venture so special?
Well, first of all, I'm representing my country, which for me is it's such an emotional moment, you know, with Madiba having represented us all over the world. I mean, everybody here treats us like royalty. So for me, this is the most special. And I get to interact with the people, you know, in Davos, you know, people were out there. I didn't really get to interact with everybody. But here, I get to interact with the locals, which I absolutely, absolutely love.
And food has been in your family for generations.
My grandmother, who was a subsistence farmer, taught me about the importance of ingredients and, you know, how to take care and really appreciate the pureness of ingredients. So for me, food has been in my life forever. So I love cooking. I inherited it from my family.
What have you got for me?
All right, Nico, so we've got a selection of South African dishes. First over here, we've got a slider. Guys, can we serve one up, please? Some sweet potato chips.
Sweet potato chips that looks like normal potato chips.
They do look like normal potato chips.
Mind if I try one of these?
Please do, absolutely. Dusted with paprika and chili. Absolutely fantastic in my opinion. So we got some beer and garlic marinated prawns. To me, that's typically South African. That's served with some caramelized onions.
It smells good.
These have been incredibly popular, and in Sicily, they're big on their seafood. And one of my favorites. That is indeed pap, sir.
How are you, sir?
I'm good, and yourself?
Good, thank you very much. Thank you.
How can you have a braai experience without pap?
Well, hang on a second. Before we carry on, let's just take a moment and realize that we're standing on a mountain in Sicily, and they're serving pap.
This is what this project has been about, has been bringing South Africa to Sicily. And of course, some ostrich. The guys did put a little bit of our world-famous chakalaka on the plate.
Chakalaka. It's unbelievable. And do you know that guy over there?
The guy over where?
Thank you very much.
Since before Roman times, wine and Sicily have been synonymous. And here, local aficionados were delighted to try South African wine.
What? It's a food and wine festival. I'm just sampling to make sure everything is on point. It is.
Wine really is a universal language, just like music. Bringing the entire South African experience together was a live concert by Mafikizolo.
Well guys, fancy meeting you in a place like this. How have you been enjoying Taormina so far?
It's been awesome because it's our very first time in Italy. And ever since we told our friends and our families that we're coming here, everybody's been like, you're gonna have such a great time. It's such a beautiful place. And I'm telling you, it's everything that people said it would be.
Well, of course, this is the Food, Wine and Music Festival, all great platforms to forge cultural relations on. Why do you think music is such a wonderful ambassadorial platform?
Music and food go hand in hand. You know, there needs to be a little bit of music there, you know.
And I think most importantly, food and music bring people together.
Exactly.
You know, at weddings, at parties, at lunches, breakfasts. You know, I think it creates that vibe. And if you want people to know more about each other, there's no better way of doing it than bringing people with music and food.
You guys have played at awesome events all around the world, but this one is particularly special, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. I mean, this one is all about celebrating South Africa, and it was such an honor for us, you know, to be called to perform in this festival and just encourage people to come through, see South Africa, see what South Africa is all about, from food to wine to music, everything that is South African. It's a beautiful country.
The consensus among South Africans and Sicilians was that this looks set to be the start of a beautiful friendship too.
Delicious and foreign relations at its best. I think I might just join the diplomatic corps. That's our show for this week, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us. And until next week, Thursday, have yourselves an awesome weekend. Good night and God bless.